Hey, what's up? We are live, but Ruth wants to join. Bye, bye. Tapa. You're good. She's scared of her own shadow. So thank you so much for joining me. Sorry for being a little tiny bit late. Had a bit of audio issues actually. Let me know if you can hear me well. And I'm gonna open this up on YouTube just to make sure that you can indeed hear me well, and we'll get started. Today is here. I can hear myself. That's good. Today's all about art supplies. Hey, Charnel, how are you doing? I was really happy to see your painting. You've done a really, really good job, and keep me posted. Um, and hey, Gujala, how are you? Hey, Tom. Hey, Cubs win. So this live stream is going to be all about art supplies, materials, tools, whatever it is. And usually I get tons of questions about this topic. So I think this is a good opportunity to discuss a bit of that. Now, let me see if I can improve the quality, the visuals. Yeah, I can't. Let's see here. Yeah, so I don't know why the webcam I paid for, which is this one, looks so much worse than the one that came with my Mac. So go figure. Hey, Richard, how are you doing? So here's the thing. If you have any question about anything, feel free to ask it, but in particular about art supplies, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of things I got from the art store, tell you a fun little story. We're going to sip some coffee together. And in the meantime, if you have any question about any of these topics, you just write it down. It's going to be mostly questions and answers, I think. So that's what we'll do. Adi says, I'll translate for Hebrew. I love your videos from Israel. Thank you so much. Reza says, Liron, good to see you again from Persia. Oh my God, that's crazy. We have people everywhere here. I mean, Persia is not. It's not the official, like, oh, I can show your. There we go. There we go. And hey, Denise. Hey, Helena. Hey, Nancy. How are you doing? It's finally warm and sunny in Ohio. Nice. It's finally smoldering hot here in Tel Aviv. It's just the summer is terrible. It's going to be humid like hell soon. Hey, Jod, how are you doing? Oh, John, by the way, I'm going to give an update about my therapy sessions. It's going to be fun. So we can do like a mediated update here, but I'll definitely update you personally too a bit more. Hey, Hank, how are you doing? Here and listening. Well, welcome aboard. Thank you for being here. Looking forward to seeing more paintings, by the way. Rinska says, hi, good afternoon from the Netherlands. Manej is here. How are you doing? Reza, yes, you're on. I don't know, because I don't want to be disrespectful. If you want to call it Persia, you go ahead. I guess some people probably still do. Magnus says, hello from Norway. We have Luis here. Liron, Luis from the Philippines. Welcome. Paint Me Blue by Nicole Mantov. Hello from France. Hey, Lollipop Strawberry. Charnel says, I hope to visit Israel one day. Oh, definitely let me know if you do. That happens from time to time, funny enough. People come and visit here and then. What I usually, they ask where they can see the painting. So I'm like, come visit the home studio. And sometimes we do lessons too. So that's fun. Dryad, hi from Finland. Thank you for being here. We have Chicky23, hi from Australia. Yes, you got it, John. Pounds and dollars. Hi, how are you doing? Shravina S says, hi, I'm a huge fan. Good evening from South India. Well, thank you so much. Okay, so we'll go with Persia for this live stream. No worries. What are we going to talk about? Yeah, so I'm going to talk about art supplies. I'm going to start with a quick story, and then we'll go ahead and see who's here. We'll continue going over the chat. Hey, Robert, how are you doing? Hey, Leslie. Hey, Sandra. Thanga, how are you doing? Hey, Anne-Marie from Sweden. By the way, you're drawing anything class? Oh, now I have a cliffhanger because I don't know what you're going to say. Let's see. I hope you say something good. We're going to leave it on the cliffhanger. So I want to show you something. This is a huge brush. It's actually bigger than it appears. So this is, it says size 12, but it's actually huge. Now, I got it because I plan on doing some more large pieces. So here's the story. Do you see the price here, the price tag? That's $4.59. That's not USD. That's Israeli shekels, which amounts to about 150 150 USD, 120, something like that. That's the price of this brush. So I was invited by one of the people who does marketing here for a local art store, one of the big ones, and he wanted to do a bit more collaborations with a local Facebook group I have. So they invited me basically to the store. That's the story. And they wanted to give me a bunch of stuff, but I only took what I really needed and wanted because they offered me so many things, and I just either have already or I know I'm not going to use. So it's just a shame. So I did take the biggest brush in the store. That's the biggest, most expensive one, probably. I took a bunch of Winsor Newton ones because they have an idea that I'll do a workshop there in the art store, and I will be using their supplies, and these are their main paints that I'll probably have me use if it happens. I'm not sure yet. So I thought I'd get those Winsor Newton, not Cotmans. These are the professional grades. I got a Winsor Red, Winsor Blue, and I think this is Winsor Yellow Light. Or it's just New Gamboge. So I knew what to pick. And lastly, I did get a block of hot press Fabriano Artistico paper, which was okay for me for illustrations and quick small stuff. I won't be using it for anything major, but that's the story. So this is how I got the biggest brush in the art store. Now we can remove the price tag. So I thought it's a good opportunity to talk a bit about art supplies. By the way, if you look in the description box, you'll find a link to a page that shows most of my art supplies. So if you want to get something that I have and you don't know what it is, you can find it there. It's all affiliate links. So when you buy through it, I make a small commission, but you pay the exact same price. So if you plan on buying pretty much anything from Amazon, even if it's not art supplies, if you use my link and then make a purchase, I still make a commission. So that's actually a good opportunity to mention that, funny enough. I worked on it for a while now. I also have there things that have to do with the content creation. So the tripod and the mic and all of that. So if you want to make videos, maybe that can help as well. But be sure to check that out too. It's going to be the first link, I believe, in the description box. And we'll wait for Anne-Marie to say what she wants about the course. I'm still with a cliffhanger. Sorry, Anita. Hello from beautiful North Carolina, USA. Thank you for your videos. I'm a beginner. Oh, thank you so much for being here. And I'm happy my videos can help. Abdallah Kanan says, good afternoon from Egypt. Cool. We're practically neighbors. Megan says, hi, everyone from Germany. How are you doing, Megan? Hope everything's going well. Resting Fish Base, how are you? From South Carolina. And Marie, Draw Anything course. Yes, that's the course. That's in front of you. I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about it. Lemka Merling, hi from Holland. Monica, how are you doing? Priya Illustrates. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Dorit says, hi from Israel. I'm going to translate. Oh, this is not Hebrew, actually. But yeah, I'm going to translate if anything is, if I can translate. Thank you, Priya. Richard says those Pro Windsor and Newton are very popular here in UK, Liron. They're very nice to paint with. Yeah, definitely. I think, honestly, if I were in the UK, I'd probably use SAA more, just because they're also really high quality and they have the membership thing. So that's actually a good idea for, whenever I really think about it and based on my experience, it's the best thing you can do is get the colors you can get locally. So we can get locally here, yes, the Winsor Newton, we can get White Knights, we can get a whole bunch of paints, and that's, I think, the best way to go. If you get them locally, it's the cheapest usually. But SAA, because they're based in the UK, that it's just the best price, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I know Winsor Newton are very popular. I just haven't yet tried the right paints, I guess, the right colors, pigments. So I haven't gotten used to them. Riza says, I've seen this kind of brush. It's used for sumi. Yeah, Japanese painting. Yeah, it could be used for that too. This one is a pure squirrel, it says. Winsor Newton, England. That's the brush. Size 12. Should have gotten a synthetic one next time. Hey, John, Liron, your new post on your self-portrait looks awesome. Is that a full sheet? As I'm not familiar. Oh, yeah, you asked me. I saw. Yeah, it is actually a full sheet. The ones you got me. It's that. It's the Saunders Waterford full sheet. I think it's half imperial, right? That's like a normal sheet is half imperial, if I'm not mistaken. And I can actually rotate the camera and show you if I change my camera to the sucky one. And then I can rotate this and show you because it's on my wall. right here, so you can see it, everyone. That's my, and that's actually a nice solution. I can just grab this camera and turn it around and show you things that are outside the frame. So I'm actually going to paint this. Oh, this could be a good like studio tour. I'll do it in a moment. Hey, this is yours, John. I'm going to show everything. But in any case, yeah. So I'm doing a large painting of myself sketching in the car. This is a picture I took in Italy. Someone took of me, and it's gonna be, I think May took it. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Very challenging, big size, but hopefully I'll get it done. Now, as for this, if we're while we're at it, this is one of my favorite paintings. This is just fun kind of souvenir stuff from Ohio, Amish country, and we have Balto, the legacy of the storm run, a bunch of fun stuff. Sugar Creek we visited, just a random map. This is my first like published article in Watercolor magazine, so that's super cool. And Leisure Painter. That's of course the YouTube play button. Maybe at some point we'll get to a golden one. Who knows? And this is the amazing painting that John made me. This is Ruth and I. This is great. So many memes in this one. So many like nuances that I'm gonna turn off this camera. Um, the stuff I wear there, it's like from that day I filmed outside, so it's fun. And by the way, when I filmed that video, we didn't even have Ruth. We haven't yet adopted her, so that's pretty cool. Megan says it was my birthday a couple of days ago, and I got James Gurney's Color and Light and the Law's Guide to Drawing Birds as gift. Oh, that's super cool. That's a great gift. Do you have any drawing watercolor book recommendations? Yeah, in the page I have a few, but it's the ones you've seen on the channel. And by the way, birthday, happy belated birthday. So happy for you. It is the one on drawing scenery by Jack Ham. I have the book there on by Nita Engel, How to Make a Watercolor Paint Itself, which is an amazing book. More for inspiration. I didn't learn too much practical stuff from it, a bit. And then I recommend Skip Lawrence's book, How to Paint Light and Shadow. And lastly, was there another one there? I'm actually not sure. Let me check. I can't type. Turns out I can't type. Let me see if there's anything else there that I forgot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, Joseph Zbogvich, Mastering Atmosphere and Mood in Watercolor, but that's one that is a bit hard to find and very pricey. Drawing Watercolor book recommended. Yeah, those would be my main ones. I don't have too many great recommendations, unfortunately, but I will. I will have again the link, the first one, if you want to see those 4 books. Honestly, I could not find like too many great books that I was blown away by. Joseph's book, which is one, is great. Alvaro Castanet has a book, but it's not really technical. It's more for inspiration too, I think. So yeah. And again, happy birthday. Hope you celebrated, had a fun time. Luis, I'm glad I was able to attend another live stream later on. I wasn't able to attend last time because it was held on 12 p.m. here. Okay, yeah. It was a bit of a weird time then. It's probably not going to happen much, though some people actually preferred it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that again. Shravina, huge fan. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. El Ragib, I know who you are, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to say people's full names unless if you don't have your full name, I'm not gonna mention it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Richard, I have one of those Leonard huge mop brushes. They hold a hilarious amount of water. Yes. I know that they're just great, really. I have one too that I'm using a lot when I don't need as much accuracy, but just a huge wash. I'll use that. Hey Francis, how are you doing? Your art is just top notch, really. The Horizon series is so good. Everyone has to check it out. Thank you so much for being here. And Travina, so you're an art teacher in India. That's really, really cool. I'm happy to have you here. Ellie's Elis Mainardi de Medeiros. Hi, from Brazil. That's cool. That's so cool. Thank you for being here. And everyone, feel free to drop questions. Again, if you have them, I'm here to answer. Patricia says, good evening, good morning, sorry, from sunny seacoast of New Hampshire. Hey, Henny. Hi, all. Off work this week. So excited I can finally join. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hoping you just take a vacation and you feel okay. Francis, happy to see you live. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, thank you so much for kind of joining in. It's been a while, right, since you've been here. Richard, man, I love white knights, but the stores here have stopped selling them because of the whole Russia thing. Yeah, that makes sense. It's so bad because most of the businesses I talk to in Russia are like totally against what's happening, and they suffer from it, of course. You know, one of my books is published in Russian, and I emailed them a couple of I don't remember, a couple of weeks back, just to kind of touch base and hear what, and hopefully hear they're okay. And I kind of sent an email to the representative, to the person I'm working with, and told her, hey, I hope you're doing well, and sorry about what's going on. And she was like, yeah, we totally condemn everything that's going on. We hate it, and we hope for peace to return. So yeah, most businesses there are just people like everyone, and they really don't want all of this. They just want to live their lives and make their businesses work, you know. But yeah, there may be another book, by the way, maybe in the future translated to Russian. We'll see. Okay, but yeah, white knights are good. It's a shame that you can't get them. Yeah, they probably stopped stocking them, and that's what happens. Paint Me Blue says you have to try, if you haven't already, Aqua Green from Winsor Newton. Oh, that's actually, I think I actually heard of it. Aqua Green, Winsor Newton. Someone told me about it. Oh, that's an interesting one. It's not even a green; it's more of a blue, in a way. Aqua Green. It's also, I believe. Oh no, it's the same tube design. Yeah. Okay, I may try it. Looks really good. Like a bluish green or a greenish blue. I can't decide. Designs diaries. Have you used watercolor pencils? What do you think of them? Used for A3 or bigger size? So here's the thing. No, the answer is no. What I did get this time, I forgot. There was one more thing. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's somewhere here. There we go. I forgot I got another one specific item, not a color pencil, but a watercolor marker. So that I still need to play around with. I don't know if I like it or not, but I'm gonna have to try it out and see what my thoughts are. We'll let you know. If you want a review, let me know. It's just, it has one tip like this, thin, and then one that's a little more of a brushy shape, not feel though. They're both hard edges. But yeah, I honestly, I don't know what, if this was like opaque, like a Pyrrole Scarlet opaque, I think I'd have more use for it. But because it's cadmium red hue, it is quite transparent. You can see it here. It's pigment red 188, and you can see here that it is transparent. Okay, so I don't really have much to do with it in terms of like finishing touches, right? Because I'm gonna use this probably for finishing touches, not for a big wash. So yeah, that's a shame, but we'll see. Anne Marie, okay. Oh, sorry. I like it a lot, and I'm about to draw the face that have been rotated 90 degrees. I've never drawn a car before, but with this technique, it went really good. So also the little chicken. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, so I'm happy it helped. After this cliffhanger, I'm so happy that you found it useful. Otherwise, I would be sad. But yeah, I have this thing, like if someone doesn't like my course, it's and they ask for a refund, I just give it. I don't like to hold people's money where they don't feel like they got what they needed. But yeah, I'm happy. I like this course a lot. I think it does a good job with the basics of drawing for sure. It's for like really beginner, but it's good. Karine, love your approach and watch all your videos. Thank you so much. I would love to take your courses. Waiting to hear, just moving from beginner into the next level. Thank you. Oh yeah, that's super cool. So I think you'll benefit from either or both. You know, frustration-free watercolor course, link in the description box. Watercolor realism, also link. I always have them here in the description box. So feel free to check them out. I have, again, 30-day money-back guarantee. Usually if you email me even after the 30-day, I give refunds if you don't like what you got. So yeah. Let's see here. Patricia says, I use Winsor Newton, Holbein, and American Journey. So Holbein is a brand I need to try. because I keep hearing really good things. By the way, I have this nice little I don't even know what you'd call that, like a puffin thing from a bakery called Bakery. Literally, that's their name. You can see it here. I'm not supposed to eat stuff like that, but once in a while. um, so yeah, I want to try Holbein. And starting to add some Daniel Smith. Yeah, Daniel Smith is classic. Neutral tint is just really good for like monochromatic studies. So if you're trying to do black and white, that's like a perfect black. It can get super duper dark. By the way, thank you so much to everyone who's here. I see we have about 104 people watching. Really appreciate it. If you can take a second and leave a like, let me know that you enjoy this one, and it will probably help more people discover this stream. But I'm really happy that the kind of talkative streams are, people enjoy them, and it's nice to just tune in. Let me go back and find my spot because I kind of missed it. Where were we? Okie doke. Yeah, it loves to jump. Yeah, okay, we were here. We did that. Paula, sorry, a little late joining. So glad to see you back on schedule. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So here's my plan. I think I'll do a few questions, and then what we'll do is I'll give you a little update because I did tell you about different changes, taking care more of my kind of wellness. I can give you an update on that regard too, because it's actually working. So yeah. I feel so much better. So thank you, Paula, for being here, and happy to have you here too. We're both on schedule, both on time. Tarnell Liron, have you ever had your work showcased at a gallery or art show? So I used to do like a prominent thing in a local art fair that did every, I think it was Tuesday and Friday for sure. I just don't remember. I think it was Tuesday. Where I sold my paintings. It's like an official art fair of the municipality. It's very famous. It's been there for decades. And then I felt like it's just not, I'm going to say it in a cold way, but it wasn't worth my time on a very like literal sense because I just didn't have enough time to work on, everything else. The business, it was very hard for me. So I stopped there. I've had my paintings in one gallery called Under 1,000 Gallery because the whole idea is everything there is under 1,000 USD in price. So yeah, and then it was so clunky to me. It felt like in order to get paid, I had to go there and collect a check, and they were never on time. And I mean, they were okay. They were doing their best, and I think they had a lot of transitions of the employees there and the finances people. So it always felt messy. And at some point, I'm like, okay. And they of course they take a larger percentage. Not that bad actually. Fair for a gallery. But yeah, I just prefer selling on my own. Of course, it's more exposure. People who don't know you buy your art, which is nice. But I think if you trust yourself enough to do it, you don't need that, But yeah, my experience was so-so. They were really professional, but everything else behind the scenes ran a little slow. That's what I felt, at least. And by the way, during COVID, I believe they have they had 3 locations before, and 2 of them closed. So that sucks. But yeah. My business is still open, but my business is not a brick and mortar. It's completely different. And I don't have as much of an overhead, as they say. John says, great idea using the wall for the full sheet. Yeah, the secret rooftop video is one of my favorites. Yeah, that's so cool that you know your memes so well. Thank you so much for that. By the way, I'm not actually painting it on this wall because then it's going to be a big mess. I'm taking it off, and then I'll either paint it on the rooftop or here on my desk. It works. It's okay. I don't tape this size. Turns out you can just not tape it and it will be fine. It usually flattens immediately. So yeah, that's funny. By the way, I have a question for you. I'm curious to hear. So not just you, John, everyone here. Is there a video recently that really helped you? Because Sadaf, you just say now that you make painting feel so easy. Thank you. So I'm just curious to see, was there a specific video? Let me know in a chat that you watched recently that helped you. I'm trying to figure out like what videos do well or communicate better the idea, Obviously the stop overworking your watercolors video was really, really good, performed really well. It's like my 4th or 5th most viewed ever video. It was out like what, a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe. So super grateful for that. A lot of new people watched it. And I have a really fun video planned for not this Saturday, but next Saturday. It's going to be really fun. I think I could make it. It's a bit more complex of a video. Hopefully it will happen next Saturday. If not, hopefully the one after that. Shravina, your live streams are very useful. Awesome. What does Hebrew sound like? Curious to hear it. אני יכול לומר כל מיני דברים רנדומליים בעברית, ותשמעו איך זה נשמע. האמת שיש לי, אוקיי, אני אמשיך קצת בעברית, ואז אני אעבור בחזרה לאנגלית. יש לי סרטון בקורס, ב-Frustration Free Watercolor, שאפשר לשמוע אותי מדבר בעברית. So I just said that I have one video in the Frustration Free Watercolor course that you can hear full painting process in Hebrew with subtitles. I put that there like a fun bonus. I think honestly it's worth the price of the course just to listen to it. We did a live stream for a local Facebook group here, a painting group. It has all kinds of art, sketching, painting in all mediums. Great group, and I'm friends with the people who started it. And so we did a live stream where I taught watercolor. And it was about 40 minutes long, and it was fun, and it was all in Hebrew because it's a local group. And then I thought to myself, it's going to be super cool if I can get that video, edit it, add subtitles, and just put it as a bonus for the course. So that's, I think, the most fun bonus I have ever had to any product that I created. So just know you can hear me speak Hebrew there. Which was in Hebrew. So the same thing in Hebrew. So yeah, let me know if you want to hear specific stuff. I can translate words for you. Diego in Japan says, question, what is the thing that you bought that you regret having spent much money on? Oh, that's a good question. There isn't too much, but what did I spend too much money on and ended up not being worth anything? I'm looking around because I'm like, what is it? What is something that answers to this category? I tend to make good use of everything I have, honestly. And I'm very frugal in how, like, I don't buy a lot of frivolous stuff. But what, I'm sure there is something. Wow, that's a good question. I'm honestly not sure. Let me get back to you on that. If we're talking art supplies, I bought some Hanemule paper that I hated. It wasn't super expensive, but watercolor paper is kind of expensive here for some reason. So I don't know, it was like $30, something like that for a block, and it was all terrible. So that could be one thing. But like, what else? I'll have to think about it. I remember distinctly thinking about such a thing a short while back. I just don't remember what it was. I'll hopefully get back to you, so I can actually star your chat message. So maybe I can check back later. If I remember something, I'll get back to you. Sorry, I don't have a good answer on the fly. Champagneer or Champagneer, good morning from the Catskills Mountains. Oh, cool. That's super pretty area there, right? And by the way, we have 111, 111, and 112 people. Thank you so much. Art related, of course. Yeah, so that's Hanemula paper. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. Brushes. Did I buy any like terrible brushes? Terrible paint? Nothing that expensive. I did have a couple of sucky paints before. Oh, well, you could say, I don't know why the light flickers. I hate that. That happens sometimes. So one of the things, let me see if I can fix that. One thing I bought was Sennelier's Le Petit Aquarelle palette with like 12 colors or 24. I think it was 12. And that ended up being the worst watercolor paints I've ever used, I think. It wasn't super expensive, but it wasn't super cheap too. It's called Le Petit Aquarelle. Don't get it. It's terrible. Maybe that answers the question. Maybe. Tom says, if you can get it, William Newton's Complete Guide to Watercolor Painting is great. Covers painting that you might call classic landscape watercolor. All the usual technique, good step by step. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that's a good maybe recommendation for Megan. William Newton. Let me see. I want to see if I'm familiar with the artist. Complete Guide to Watercolor Painting. Complete Guide. Or maybe I have that. I don't know. Because I do have a book that's called kind of... No, it's not that one. Okay, yeah. That's a different one for sure. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I have a complete watercolors essentials notebook, which I don't like as much. Okay, interesting. I wasn't familiar, I think, with William Newton, but looks good. Looks good for sure. One book that I really like and is kind of watercolor-ish is the Paris in Aquarelle. Actually, that's a good book for inspiration for more urban sketching if you like that kind of a thing. Just remembered. I actually have it here. I can. Let me see if I can get it. 1 second. There we go. This thing. This is really nice, but it's just for inspiration purposes. Where's my tissue? 1 second. I'm going to have to get my tissue so that I don't. Sorry about that. Fun little break. Fun one needed to freshen up. So yeah, that's a really nice one. For more the urban sketching type, I don't remember if I reviewed it ever on the channel, but it is really nice. I feel like Theo, when he does book reviews, I feel like I could get a good impression of him, but I'm not gonna do it. Definitely not live. I love his videos. So here we go. Why am I falling on like all the okay ones and not the amazing ones? Wait, let me see here. Okay, check this out. This is so neat. So good. But the ones I like the most, let me see. So there's around the last ones, I think. It's been a while since I keep bumping the mic. It's been a while since I did like stories of just random book recommendations, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, these are good. Check these out. So he has this is the views of Paris, but there's also rooftops of Paris, which is really beautiful too. So it's a very, if you would take the urban sketching style to the max, that's what you'll get. It's by Fabrice Moreau. There we go. After bumping the mic to hell, hopefully now the audio is going to be a little better. Sorry about that. But yeah, not for learning, just for inspiration. I can't understand a word because it's all in French. So yeah, Sadaf says, what is your preference of colors for a limited palette? So usually I go with a phthalo blue or French ultramarine, new gamboge like the one I just showed you as a yellow. Sometimes I started using a bit more lemon yellow. And then two reds, quinacridone rose, which is like a rose red, kind of a pink red, and then pyrrole scarlet. So I like to have two versions of every primary color. That's pretty much everything I need to paint 90% of things, right? And then you get a few specialty colors if you need a very strong pink, or a very strong, like a green or whatever, then you can bring in a couple of extra paints. My palette is very boring though. It was, if you just take the Daniel Smith Essentials set with the 6 tubes, that's the one. That's what I usually use. Christine Bourgeois says hello from Minnesota. Hello all. Thank you for being here. Henny, which is your current staple brush for most works? Mine is size 8 silver black velvet. I love silver black velvet. My staple would be 2. It will be the Escoda size 16. Is it the Barocco or the Versatile? I never remember. It's this one. The Escoda Barocco, size 16, and then the large goat hair by Lebens. And these are the two I love because, and then I use smaller Escodas just for the small details. I think I'm going to open the window. It may bring in some breeze. But these are good for pretty much everything. I could paint the full painting with just these two. I don't need much more. 1 second. We'll see if that's going to help. It's super hot. I don't know why it became so hot. But yeah, Ellie says, what are your favorite reds for urban sketching, and do you bother to buy the harder to mix colors like magenta? So yeah, I have quinacridone rose, which is super similar to magenta. It's just a pink-ish, magenta-ish red. So that's good. So a good idea could be to have as a primary color one of those colors that are hard to mix, because then you can mix. It's very easy to mute a color, but it's very hard to make it more vivid or make it more bright. So if you start with a quinacridone rose, it's very hard to get to pyrrole scarlet, right? But you can produce a very bright kind of magenta light, right? But for me, the two favorite reds are the same. So I'm super practical in that regard. It's going to be the quinacridone rose and the pyrrole scarlet. The pyrrole scarlet is really good because it suits anything that looks like a sign. If you have just about anything that is traffic light that is red or stuff like that, it's just perfect for it. So that's why I personally love that one. Very boring colors. I know it's just such usual stuff. But yeah, okay, my light is dead. That's strange. Maybe I accidentally let's see. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna have to buy a new ring light. That's what it appears to be. It's been flickering for a while now, so it makes sense. It was super cheap too, so I guess that happens. So this side of my face is going to be dark in a while, so my apologies about that. But yeah, my color mixes are super boring. Eldon Summers, how are you doing? Happy to catch this live. Thank you so much for being here. Pablo says, greetings from Mexico. Do you have any tips for painting bigger? I usually do small A5 paintings, but want to do 11 by 14 or so. Yeah, so 11 by 14 is a decent size, right? It starts to become a little trickier. So I'll give you the straightforward kind of answer that I give almost automatically. Bigger brushes, and it may sound like obvious, but so many people just believe they'll try hard enough and they don't have to change anything. That's not the case. You have to change something. So I have a bunch of large brushes there behind me, including this new one. I love this Raphael flat brush. It's actually larger than it appears now because I didn't clean it well. Once it opens up, it's a bit larger. That's a really good one. Soft aqua, 1.5 inches, 40 millimeters. So that's a really good one. You have to use larger brushes. Now here comes the problem. When you use larger brushes, they have an increased water capacity. So that same mixing area you're used to using and that same water cup, maybe if it's not a big bucket that you're used to using, the brush just absorbs all the water there and it feels super dry and you have to bring more water and more water. So here's what I actually did for recently I started doing for the larger paintings. I take just not a plastic cup or like something like that. I like the ones for hot drinks. And then I actually take the paint that I need. I put it fresh out of the tube and I add a bit of water and I mix. And that way you can have a huge mix ready to go. And you just dip into that. You don't have to remix. That's good for when you have large washes, right? So if you have a large wash that has a bit of blue and a bit of like a burnt sienna kind of thing that you want to do, you're good to go. Create 2 cups. Just take a bit of that tube, mix it up with the brush or whatever, but really mix it. It takes some time to break and melt completely. And you got it. You got a dark mix or a strong mix or a medium mix you can work with. That actually saves a lot of time and trouble. Larger mixing areas. Larger pens, if you're using pens, use the double size pens instead of the normal kind of tiny ones. Half a pen, so use a full pen. And have the table more at an angle so that it's easier for the paint to go down. When I painted one of the paintings I did super large, when I painted the New York scene, I think I did it double the painting I just showed you. It's huge. What I did then was I actually nailed it to the wall and painted literally like this. It was completely vertical. It's just you need that angle sometimes. That's the biggest challenge. Now, 11 by 14, these tips will help you. You don't need much more than that. But I will say the entire idea of technique, match the technique to that is also important. So mix more paint in advance, right? Maybe if you're doing a large complex wash, maybe it's okay to use some, masking fluid or something like that to mask off some areas to give you more freedom in that first wash, right? A couple of suggestions. Everything that's in your control prior to starting to paint, do that. Okay, I hope these tips help. Most of them are just common sense, but one with the cup, that's new for me, and it's been working really, really well. Ellen says, greetings from Philippines. I really love your videos. I've learned a lot of stuff about watercolor painting. Awesome. That's so cool. I'm happy to hear. Hello from Romania. Hello, Serban. How are you doing? And by the way, my dad's from Romania. He was born in Romania, and I hope to do a trip there to see where he's from there. That would be fun. Something that came to my mind recently. Anne Marie, it's very good. I've drawn some before. Still, this class is very good. Go back to basics are good, and I like the first kind of exercise with the pairs and the roofline. Awesome. So happy to hear. Ellen, how are you doing? Harold from Cyprus. Set it works, sketching and listening in. Thank you so much. Ravine, I guess it's really helpful. Live questions and suggestions for different topics, which are really real to art. Hey, John, how are you doing? Richard, if I could recommend one paint that amazes me, it would be Helios Green by Schminka. Did any paint take you by surprise? How good it is, Liron? Interesting. Helios Green is another one I heard of. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, okay. That's such a weird green. It's like the strongest almost green you could mix. That's interesting. Yeah, I like it a lot. I need to see it like in the context of a full painting, but it looks interesting. Any paint take you by surprise? How good it is? So here, not really. The one thing that took me by surprise was when I made the switch from Van Gogh to Daniel Smith. I used, when I got started, Van Gogh, and what's it called? Winsor Newton Cotman. When I made the move to Daniel Smith, I was like, whoa, it's insane. That was the thing that really did it for me. Erica, your video about the bead really helped me. Oh, cool. I think maybe you left a comment there. I don't remember, because I go over comments every couple of days and I try to answer just as much as I can. I think I saw your comment there, but I'm not sure. But happy to hear. Chicky says, I love the video where you critiqued your old art. Oh, cool. I plan on doing more of these. Your review videos are helpful and honest. Awesome. Michelle Ann, Hebrew is such a beautiful sounding language. Thank you. Dietz also agrees. What a beautiful language. Yeah, I think it sounds strange, but yeah, because I'm so used to it. Rinska, which mop brush do you like the best if you were on a budget? Mop brush? So you can find actually decent mop brushes, not for too expensive, and you can get one and it will last a long time if it's good quality. So even if it's, $40 or something like that for a size 16, it could be good. Like a Raphael one. I love Raphael mop brushes. They're a little more expensive, yes. I don't remember if Silver Black Velvet has a good mop, but if they do, I would go for that. Their prices are really good and they're just really nice quality, especially for beginners. But still, I would use them today too. Paul, I love the one where you showed how to simplify a very busy photo. I shy away from many photos that have too much going on, and now think I will jump in and try for you. Awesome. Yeah, I actually love all your videos. Thank you, Paula. One thing I will say about that is remember always that you are the artist. So it's not the reference photo that makes the painting awesome. It's you. You make something out of the reference photo, and that's a very important kind of mindset shift that I went through, and I recommend you give it some thought, because it really is what you make of it, and you can make a lot out of little. You can use a very weird reference photo, a non-ideal reference photo, and simplify and change and move around. You will get something beautiful. So it's you that makes the photo, and hopefully that kind of mindset will help you in the future, Paula. Happy you loved that video. David Olivares, with all the money and time spent on colors and paper matting, you really should go with UV glass. Interesting. I actually framed a few paintings with UV glass. Honestly, only time will tell if that made a difference, and I don't think I'll ever know because they're not with me. But I guess it could be interesting to experiment with that. You know what? I'm going to write that. That's a video idea right there. screen capture. That's actually an interesting idea, because no one really answered that for me yet. Good vid idea. There we go. Okay. Thank you for that, David. But yeah, if you recommend it, if you think it works well in your experience, then yeah, definitely. I believe you. Patricia says, I just discovered an amazing book called Art and Fear: Observations on the Perils and Rewards of Art Making. Interesting. By David Bales and Ted Orlando. Highly recommended. Cool. Sounds awesome. Luis, thank you for satisfying my curiosity about Hebrew. It's a beautiful language. Oh, awesome. Yeah, happy I could help. Matt, what kind of paper do you prefer for pen drawing? Interesting. So if you're just doing pen, you don't plan on adding watercolor, actually any Bristol paper would work. So I know Strathmore is pretty popular. I used it. It's nice, smooth Strathmore paper. Not the grainy one, because the grainy one, of course, is going to be hard with a pen. Now, if you're talking about watercolor papers, then any hot press should do, as long as it doesn't have texture. I do have good experience with Fabriano Artistico's hot press. From my recent experience with Arch, it should be good too, as long as it's hot press again. But if you're just doing pen drawing, then go for, I believe Strathmore should be cheaper ultimately, because it's paper. It's not cotton. It's not watercolor paper. I think watercolor paper is a little more expensive in that regard. So yeah, I'd go for any Bristol kind of paper. Strathmore is good. I have used it a bit in the past, and it's good. Magnus, what is the single thing? And by the way, I'm using manga paper too for the manga sketches, and this works perfectly well. But it's specialty paper, and I think it's a little more expensive. You don't have to. Comic book paper, whatever. Magnus, what is the single thing you are most happy about spending money on? So recently, it's been the therapy. I'll talk to you about a bit later on. But what's the single thing you were most happy about spending money on? So do you mean like a recurring kind of thing? I would say food. It's tasty, so it's okay. I like that. I like, it's a bizarre answer, but I like spending money on my business and myself, like investing in myself. Every time I do that, it ends up being worth it. Whether it's my education to learn something new, which is, you can learn like most things just online, but sometimes if you find a right teacher, then a paid product can get you very far. Whether it's on watercolor and painting and art, or it's the marketing yourself as an artist, or using Facebook ads, or mastering YouTube as a creator and really being on top of that. All of these things, if I can spend money on those, and that's something I plan on doing more. So yeah, we'll get back to the therapy later on if we have time. Patricia, excerpt operating manual for not. Oh, okay. So we got the this book, the Observations and Perils, right? Operating manual for not quitting. Make friends with others who make art and share your in progress work with each other frequently. Oh, that's an interesting suggestion, because I don't have that, but I have you. So yeah, I definitely share my art with you. B, learn to think of A, rather than the Museum of Modern Art, as a destination of your work. Look at it this way: if all goes well, MoMA will eventually come to you. Yeah, that's true. Best way to get there is to not try and just do your best to make your best art. Champagner, what do you think about masking fluid? I've tried, but never liked the edges. Yeah, I think it's a matter of skill. I didn't like the edges too. I just think I'm not that good at it. I did see someone apply it with a nib pen, which is something I never tried, and I think would work well because it's easy to get it off the metal as opposed to getting it off brush hairs. That's something I plan on trying. But as of yet, I haven't really done it well. So yeah, I don't use it much. Karina, I loved Don't Overwork Your Watercolor. Also, your demo of the port, I found it helpful for sequence the order of work. Awesome. That's really cool. Happy to hear. Eldon, my biggest misbuy was a Winsor & Newton 100% cotton watercolor booklet. I hated the paper so much I ended up using it for gouache exclusively. Yeah, so at least you were creative and found a use for it, right? At least it wasn't completely for nothing. But I hate when that happens. Like, you make a product, make it work for its purpose, Patricia, I needed a new tube of royal blue and bought Sennelier, but it's totally different color than the dark royal blue. It looks more like Robin's egg blue. It is PB29. I should have purchased PB60. Yeah. So it's not the same pigment, right? It's a different pigment. So you always have to check that, unless they have the same pigment, look differently, which is strange. Tom, I got a block of Hahnemuhle expression. Cold press cotton. First try was okay, but after that, each time the surface damaged really easily, and for cold press, it feels like there's hardly any texture. Interesting. I don't remember if the one I tried was Muhle Expressions. I don't remember what paper I used, but it was super crappy. I really disliked it, and I know Hahnemuhle is supposed to be good, so it kind of sucked. Let's see if I can find it. Watercolor paper. Hahnemuhle. Maybe I can find like a picture of the exact same thing I had, if I even remember. Was it the Britannia paper? I don't remember. It was so bad. Avoid at all costs. I do know now they're supposed to have good sketchbooks, but I don't know. I would steer clear from them, unfortunately. Was it Cezanne? Oh, I think it was Cezanne. Huh. I think it was their Cezanne paper. Sorry, you can't see what I'm looking at, but oh, that was bad. That was bad times. So Britannia, is it cold press or hot press? Natural white. Why doesn't it say? It's weird. It doesn't say if it's hot press or cold press. But in any case, I don't know. It was either the Britannia or the Cezanne. One of those I hated. Ugh. Yeah, sorry. Reminiscent about bad paper times. Rinsko, which mop brush will you use on a budget? Oh yeah, so the one I said, silver black velvet one. If there's a good one. Wendy Linson, hi from Melbourne. Well, thank you so much for being here. Richard, dude, I got 2 Hahnemuhle sketchbooks. I gave them to my 6-year-old son, not a fan. Yeah, that sucks. Hey, David, how are you doing? Hope everything is super well with you. Very happy you enjoyed the Watercolor Realism course. That's a big one. You know, I'm going to push it more and market it more soon. Do a couple of more videos because it's really something I think useful. But very happy you find it helpful. And thank you so much for sending me that painting. I have it right here. I really appreciate it. I can just go ahead like this and see it. So thank you so much. Of course, I am. Hey, Liron. I hope you're well. Glad to see you back at the normal time. Missed the stream last week. Yeah, sorry about that. But we're back to routine now. Marina Borrell, and I'm going to play around with maybe adding an extra stream here and there instead of that video I removed. Marina, what do you do with practice watercolor sheets? So what do you mean by practice watercolor sheets? Like bad quality paper or lower quality? I sometimes just test colors on them. I don't have much of these because right now I only have paper I like, but in the past that's what I would do. Or sometimes I'll treat them like ruined paintings in a way. I'll just see them as an opportunity to go crazy and try a weird technique that I'm not used to, and the result is going to be bad if it's bad watercolor paper, of course, but just doing the technique gives you a bit more confidence. So yeah, I'd use it just for fun stuff, you know. Charnel, love the birds chirping in the background. Where's Ruth? She's actually here. I can show you. Wait a second. Let's see here. There she is. She knows we're talking about her, you see. She heard me. She knows. You want to see her ears perk up? Ruti. Ruti. Tova. Tova is good in Hebrew. So yeah, she's so funny when she's hyped and I go with this voice. She's like, her ears like satellites immediately. And by the way, one of my most underrated videos is Ruth's birthday video. So check that out. If you search Liron Ruth birthday, you'll find it. It's one of my best videos ever. Nobody watched it. So yeah, of course I am. Wait a second. Okay, we'll jump back. Chat jumped. Yeah, everyone's listening to the birds. Let's see here. Patricia says, I'm using Lana Quarel 140 pound cold press. So easy to use, very forgiving. Bright white paper. Oh, cool. Yeah, I find that cold press is more forgiving in general. And what was that other paper? There was one paper that I found was really forgiving. I'm not sure, but Saunders Waterford is really forgiving too. After playing around with hot press for a while, cold press is much more forgiving. But I like the fact that there's no texture. Sometimes it's nice. Casey, hello from Nashville, USA. You are, I guess, not our favorite YouTuber. Thank you so much. John, videos helpful. Insane wet in wet. Oh yeah, that's another underrated one. I don't see many demos that take it this far. Fixed all watercolor. That's one that a lot of people like too. Important life changes. Oh, thank you so much. Because it touched on self-care, was inspiring and motivational. Lovely or motivational videos. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much, John. Pounds and dollars. Any tips for beginners in merging the colors? What do you mean by merging? Just painting them, moving from one color to another. The best exercise you can do, honestly, is just do like an even wash where you vary the color. I actually have a few videos on that. So like you put in a color and then you put another one next to it and another one next to it. Or what you could do is slowly and gradually move from one color to another. So start with one and then slowly add a bit of that other one, move it down all the way or to the side or whatever, and just practice putting paints next to one another, right? And use enough water. You want the paint to be transparent, like you really want it to move on the palette. If you go with your palette and you tilt it, you want the paint to fall down. You don't want it to just stay there like this, static. You want it to move, okay? Hey, Savelske by Pro Art is good pointed mop. Big third. There's no Sables. Okay, there's no way I can pronounce it, but okay, cool. 30 pounds. I guess 30 euros. That's not that bad, right? I mean, it's not the cheapest, but it's good. Henny. Okay, that's a comment on another comment. Hey John, how are you doing? John, my recent favorite of your videos, the ones that helped me the most, are easy portraits. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Easy portraits was like a quick win. Stop trying to match every color. That's a good one too. And realistic watercolors. Awesome. Mark, I'm reading a fun book, Urban Watercolor Sketching by Scheenberger. Urban Sketching Scheenberger. I used to be able to spell better. Schoenberger, maybe? Felix Scheinberger. Okay, I completely misspelled it. Oh, I know that book. Yeah, I read it a long time ago. Yeah, that's a fun one. Funny. Blast from the past. Yep. Kaspaiva says, oh, hey. Thank you for being here. Reza, teaching is an art. You're not only a very kind and great teacher, but also a great artist. Thank you. Thank you so much. The Tamir. Love you from Pakistan. Thank you so much. Michelle Ann, have you tried synthetic brushes? I've got the Escoda Ultimo Tendo. I love it. Yeah, I love the Escoda synthetic brushes. I used to use a lot of Princeton synthetic brushes. You can probably get away with painting everything with synthetic brushes. They say, and it's true that the water capacity is not as good, but it's still good enough, I think. I'm going to take a bite. Cheers. But yeah, you could get away with, if it's a large enough of a brush, you can definitely use just synthetic ones. Maybe I should make the switch, honestly. Poor animals. Thank you so much, Tamir. Yeah, I should do more drawing videos, actually. Kaspaiva, I got here late. Nice to see all of you. Yeah, and it's never too late to join. It's still fun. I think you haven't missed the best story yet. So thank you for being here. Glenda. Morning, Glenda from West Virginia. Thank you for being here. Terry Carter, nib pen works great, and also apply on moist paper so it spreads at edges. So apply on moist paper. Interesting. Wait, are you serious? You're talking about masking fluid, right? Apply on moist paper so it spreads? Is that the kind of thing that will happen? You know what? Okay, now I remember. I need to get the pen, the masking fluid pen, the one that has the fluid in it, and I can draw with it very accurately. That's one thing I remember. Second, that's crazy. I had no idea it works that way. I'm not sure my masking fluid would work like that. It's a weird one. It has this yellowy color to it. I don't know. That's interesting. So I have to check that out. Let me know what brand, Terry. Let me know what brand you refer to. Because I would love to try that. If it actually spreads out, let me know. Denise, which watercolor sketchbook do you prefer to travel? What supplies do you recommend for travel? So the best watercolor sketchbook is honestly the one with the same paper you use when you're at home. I do like the Canson Montval, which I always show here. Those are great. Why is it so far away from me? There we go. That's not the Canson Montval. Wait a second. So that one is good. Montval. That's honestly the best one I used so far. It's not crazy good. Let me see if I can get a nice painting to show you. This is nice. Let's see if I have something good here. I think I have some good stuff in this one, and many of you have probably seen them. This I painted planner on location as soon as we got to Florence. Love this view. Let me find a really good one. I think there should be a really good one here. This is a small study I did for a larger piece of people at a, crosswalk. That was really nice. This is a study I did of Michael Reardon. Such a good artist. And let's find a really good one. So you can achieve nice results on this paper, right? It's going to be a little harder. Will take a bit of getting used to, but it is possible. But if you can make your own sketchbook, honestly, this is pretty realistic, especially for the time I painted it a couple of years ago. I think it was 2018, maybe. Oh, this is a nice one too. This I got extremely lucky with. Everything worked out. Color harmony, it's all really good. And yeah, I think these are most of the interesting ones here. So I would say this one. And if you can make your own out of the same watercolor paper you use, that'll be the best. What supplies do you recommend for travel? The one thing you're going to need is a comfortable collapsible cup. Winsor & Newton has a great one that does that. And then it's really space effective. That's one of the best buys, honestly. And you need a good easel. So if you're going to do serious plein air, I actually have that easel listed in the page that I mentioned. So for anyone who just joined, I have a new page that shows most of my art supplies with links to Amazon or other websites where you can get them. Okay. So be sure to check that out. First link in the description box. And if you buy anything from there, through my link, I'm super grateful because I make a small commission. And it's so interesting. If you need to buy something from Amazon, like, I don't know, a TV or something like this, use my link and then just go buy whatever you were going to buy, and I still make a commission. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. It's a small, like a 4%, which is pretty big when you think about it. Anywhere between 4 and 10%, I believe. So yeah. Jane Store, I've not been happy removing it as it's very hard to rub off. Yeah, makes sense. Kaspeva, I wonder, should pencil lines erase before painting? So here's the thing. If you erase them, how do you know where to paint, right? So you either don't use a pencil or you just live with them. I like pencil lines in my paintings. I don't mind them. I will say that once you cover them with water, it's pretty much gone. You cannot erase them. It's very difficult. So yes, just know that it's going to happen. Tornell, Liron, how's your wellness journey going? Okay, so if you ask, I have to answer. So basically, I've been focusing on a lot of things. Health, I will say we're eating healthier. Not super duper healthy, as you can see by this thing here next to me, but pretty healthy. And exercise was never really a problem. We exercise regularly. One thing I did do, 2 significant things, was I started following Wim Hof. And some of you probably know Wim Hof. He's the Iceman. You've probably at least heard of him. So I started doing the breathing exercises and cold showers. These had a really good effect on me. The breathing exercises worked really well. I can pretty easily stop my breath for 2 minutes, and it's not a competition of how long you can do it, but the feeling is great. I can feel the blood pumping and everything. I think, by the way, after that, I'm going to jump forward to the chat to see the more recent comments, because I always miss a bunch in between, and then I don't end up talking about what the thing is actually talked about in the chat. So I like to go one by one, but I should probably at some point just scroll down and be with you. But yeah, so that worked out really well. Wim Hof It's very easy to find. WIMHOF. You'll find him on YouTube. That's been great. Now, another thing I did, I started a therapy process with a coach, you could say, that is NLP based, NLP, neuro linguistic programming. Now, everything in it is super personal. It's basically like if psychology, if psychologists were practical in a way. It's funny to say it this way, but what NLP does, it takes models of thought models that lead to success, whatever success means to you. It doesn't come with a preconception of what success is. It finds the model that leads to success and it helps you instill it in you. So what does that mean? There are a lot of things we go through in life. Everyone goes through trauma. It doesn't have to be serious, right? It could be anything from bullying, which can be quite serious, to other things, right? So me, being a human being on planet Earth, have also gone through a lot of these things, and things add up, and your personality is. I think the light kind of works. That's weird. Anyway, your personality is being shaped by your life and by maybe some genetics and stuff like that. And then some things you may find bug you in life. And it doesn't mean you don't like yourself, but it just means that maybe you'd like not to be easily angered. Maybe you'd like to feel more confident when talking to strangers or other people. Maybe you're a very meek person, not assertive, and you don't like it and you want to be more assertive. All of these different things, right, that bug us in ourselves. There are a bunch of schools of thought that say, accept yourself however you are, or it's very important to always strive to improve yourself. But NLP is kind of just practical. So what it does is it helps the person who does the therapy, because you do everything. They don't do anything. It's guided imagination. I don't know how you call it in English, but it's like they help you find go on a walk. So basically their job is to help you discover the things that started. I'm thinking if I can have a practical example for you. Okay, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you something as practical as it gets. So basically, I spent about 3 hours talking to this person. He asked me a bunch of questions about myself, my personality, what I'm like day to day, the things I enjoy, the things I don't enjoy, parents, friends, history, what I did, what I love, what I don't like, etc., etc., etc. What bugs me, what I want to change, why do I want to change it? It's very important to understand if I really do want to change something, why now? Like, why start a process now? Why didn't I do it a year ago? Why wouldn't I just procrastinate and do it in a year from now, right? These are all screening questions for the therapist to figure out if it's relevant to you, the treatment. And just generally speaking, it's very important to know if someone's going to help you, right? So we talked for a long time, and he gave me this questionnaire, super long, like 10 pages full of questions. And so he built this kind of he explained to me what he sees based on my answers, and I'm like, yes, everything is dead on accurate. The analysis was like perfect. It's exactly, yes, this is exactly how I feel when I think about this, and it's very nuanced. Okay, so this is the part of getting to know who you are, what you'd like to work on, how important it is really to you. Are you ready to work on it? Are you ready to make the change? And then you get to the next step. And this is where it differs greatly from traditional psychology, because what you do with NLP is you talk to your subconscious. How do you do that? You breathe deep like meditation. You go into a sort of just very relaxed state of mind, and then the therapist guides you through a process. So one of the processes we did was a timeline. So let me tell you a story. So I've been bullied a lot when I was young. It wasn't like the bullying that I think a lot of people in the US are familiar with. I honestly think I was very sensitive, and I took it way harder than I could have. It's not like super terrible. I won't go into details. It's just there's no use to, but it happened. And so when he asked me, because the first thing he wanted to work on was anger, because he said that anger is an emotion that gets you stuck. Anger is an emotion that has to do with territory. It's the thing that separates you and the world. It's something that's very important. But the problem with anger is that it could be misguided. Maybe you consistently get angered by things you shouldn't be angry about because it's just impractical. It's bad for your health and there's nothing to be angry about. Maybe you carry anger with you from your childhood, right? So he wanted to work. There's a lot of shame and stuff like that to work on too. It's very personal, but I don't care. I don't mind sharing it. But the first thing he wanted to work on was anger. And these are things everyone has: anger, shame, guilt, whatever. Um, so it's funny because these are sides of me that you're not exposed to, because the way I built my business, I think subconsciously, everything that was missing for me in life, I build it here. So you get to see a more assertive, more like the best version of me, right? And we talked about it before. When you look at someone online, you probably see if it's their channel, you probably see some of their best sides because it's all you can edit it, right? But in any case, without going into too many details, so he guided me through a process where we created a timeline. I figured out what my timeline looks like, where I envisioned the past and the future, just like that. And then he asked me, what was the first time if you can go back in time, slowly back in time, and try to remember the first memory you have of being, feeling this anger, okay, or feeling whatever, like this very nuanced emotion we talked about. Now, you may think to yourself, well, how the hell am I going to remember that? When you're in this state where you really build a timeline mentally, you visualize it, it will work. And you will remember stuff you don't remember usually. That's the entire job of the person doing the process with you, right? So I had a memory of that time, the first time I felt this specific emotion. And here's where something interesting happens. The therapist asked me, would you like to change that? Would you like to not feel anger at this point? And then the basic gist of it is, me as an adult, I look at the situation and give young Liron, 3-year-old Liron, or whatever, however old I was then, advice on what to do, on what I should do. Like, and it's so funny. The things that come up there are so pure. It's like, because today, with an adult's perspective, you know that maybe you took something way too hard than you should have, right? And the other person is being bullied at home, which is why they're a bully, right? Today, you know to say that, but the young version of you does not know that. And the young version of you carries this weight with it all this time. But once you do that, that actually makes a subconscious change. It works with the way your subconscious mind is, and it rebuilds it. So what happens is you go through this, and then, yes, okay, now do you still feel anger or whatever in this situation? And then you really focus and you try to figure out, do I feel that? Do I don't feel it? And if you don't, you can move forward in time, find the next instance of that. What usually happens is, if you find the first instance, it solves everything that comes after that. That's crazy. So let's say you have 3 bad emotions, let's call them A, B, C. And you have multiple instances of them in your past. If you find the first time you felt A, it's going to solve all the future A's. Your brain knows how to apply it to everything, because that's what happens when you work with the subconscious. So I'm like I've always known that NLP is something that actually works. Now I'm a huge advocate for it. And the question that comes to mind is, why don't everyone do this? And let me tell you something. Right now, when I try to, and again, you see my best version, remember that. But I could become angry about something at will. If I would remember someone who bullied me, or someone I didn't like as a kid, or something like it, I would feel the emotion of anger. Right now, it's been almost, not a week, but it's been like 5-6 days since I did this therapy session. I can't feel that anger. And I am very familiar with that anger. And many of you may be familiar with it. If someone did you wrong, hurt you, you carry anger with you. Imagine what it's like if you do the same thing you're used to. You think about that person or that instance, and you can't feel the anger you felt before. That's what I'm going through right now. I have a void, a vacuum. I think about this person, because there is a person in this instance, and I don't feel any anger at all. At first, I thought this was the afterglow of the therapy session, because you're hyped and everything. Woke up the next day, nothing. Zero, nothing. 2 days later, nothing. I feel zero anger towards anything that has to do with all of these old triggers. Nothing. I've never had this effective of a result before. It's insane. And right now, when I walk down the street, I'm lighter. And that's just the first thing he wanted to work on, because anger is an emotion that tends to stick you right where you are and not allow you to move past it. It has this tendency probably to do that, right? That's the best testament to the success I can do. So next time, I don't know, maybe it will be more information from me to the therapist, and then we'll work on a different emotion, right? But I've never felt this quick of a change before. It's really awesome. So yeah, that's the long story to answer. Two main things: this therapy, which I bought the whole program in advance, so one of the best ways I spent my money recently. I paid for all the it's 6 sessions of 2 hours each. 2 hours is a long time. I paid in advance for all of that, and it was worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna jump forward to the chat because it's gonna be relevant to what we just talked, and then we'll go back. Thank you so much, Charnelia. Thank you, Lynn. Everyone being so transparent and sharing. We need to do a lot to do more of that as human beings. Yeah, thank you so much. Yep. And everyone needs that. That's the thing. There's nothing to be ashamed of, because everyone has that. Everyone has these emotions. Everyone has these triggers, these situations where you feel helpless, right? And it's fun to feel like a victim. It is fun. We build it sounds so ridiculous, but we build our identities around being victims. We're special because we were mistreated, and of course this doesn't apply to everyone, right? But I'm sure many of you know this. Like, I'm special because I'm different, because I was never that person that was surrounded by other people, because I'm not like them, I'm better than them. People build egos around their being a victim or being whatever. They build their identity around it, and these are issues we all face. So it's, I think, really important to do this kind of work. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Reinhild. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. AMDR. I'm not familiar with EMDR. What is EMDR? Maybe I am. I'm not sure. EMDR therapy. Eye movement desensitization. Interesting. Yeah, it's actually very different. It's very different. So this sounds more physical, but the thing is, this is really guided imagination and meditation. But yeah, Base S says hi from Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go back in time a bit, and then we'll connect somewhere in the middle. Awesome talking points. Thank you, Dwayne. I adore Daniel's with paints. Yep. Same here. I actually like it. Breathing exercises. Yep. They're great, actually. Hi, Liron. Do you know any sketchbooks which are good for mixed media? Mainly watercolor and colored pencil, and or normal graphite pen. So I would use the same. Canson Montval, very good too. And that's, I believe, you can find it in Europe pretty much everywhere. I know for a fact you can find the XL sketchbooks because I got some of them in Europe. XL mixed media. That would be a good one. Or just get the watercolor one. It's good for most things. Let's see if there's anything relevant to that. Yeah, okay, we're good. Gina says, I should have had therapy as I was abused by my first boyfriend. I just dealt with it on my own. Yep. Yeah, and it really changes on, like, depending on the age. A lot of the things I talked here are like starting from the age of 3, 4, 5. So if it happens, and we sort of build ourselves later based on that trauma. So if you had that experience, then from that point onward, you build something on an unstable base in a way, which is why it's so important to slowly, with a lot of, self-acceptance, and it's okay to maybe work towards solving these things, Champagner, the therapy is NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It sounds so serious, but it's actually, it's very emotional. It's just, you have to devote yourself to it, and it works. It is, if you want to search for the specific exercise we did, it's called a timeline. Richard, Liron, it's been so great to hear about your personal life and how you're doing so well. I've been following you for a few years now, and it feels like I know you personally, even though we've never met. Yeah, that's so awesome. Yep. I feel the same about you and other people too, honestly, Richard, because we do interact on multiple places, so it's fun. And Actually, there's this whole idea that it can be a little one-sided, right? Because I do most of the talking, but it's actually interesting for me to hear about your experiences and like what bugs you. I build all the things I do in terms of work around that, right? And hopefully one day we can do like a proper meetup. I think we should do that in the US probably, or Europe. An interesting idea for the future. Gina says there's art called neurographic art. It was easy to do. Neurographic art. Interesting. Neurographic art. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I'm familiar with it, I think. Susan, I missed what your therapy is called. Could you say the name again? Yeah, I'm going to do it in the chat in all caps. NLP, Neuro-linguistic Programming. Basically, it's a way to access your subconscious. It's nothing woo-woo. It's nothing old age or new age. It works. It's just a way to access your thought processes and the way your brain thinks of things, and to change the things that are ineffective. So if there's something that triggers you to feel lonely, sad, insecure, whatever, you can trace back to the time when this was created, as young as 0, by the way. Probably before you were born too. It can be done from where you were in the belly. I'm serious, because I read a couple of things about it. And it's I don't know like what the science behind it is and how established it is, but it works. I've seen multiple examples of it. Lena or Line? I don't know how to pronounce it. Hopefully it's Lynn or Line. I wanted to be an artist since I was, or maybe it's Line Evans. I don't know. I wanted to be an artist since I was a child, but I've only started after my therapist suggested to me. But I'm still scared to show myself and call myself an artist. Interesting. Yeah. So that fear of showing yourself can come from many different things, right? It can come from being humble where maybe you shouldn't, or it can come from an insecurity of being rejected. It can come from many things. So if you were to do like this kind of a therapy, it would be about really understanding you on a very deep level and all your experiences and how your brain works, and then defining clear goals of what you want to work on, and then finding those instances in your history or whatever that caused this. Now, it's, by the way, I'm for full complete acceptance. If you don't want to change something, just don't. That's not you specifically, but everyone listening. I think it's important to always live in that paradox of self-acceptance, self-improvement. I want to improve some things, but I completely accept myself the way I am right now. Lynn says yes, US meetup. Yeah, we'll try and do that. Gina says painting every day in a way is like therapy. That's for sure. Yeah. Sebastian, I just bought a Sablinski. Is that actually a thing? I know Kolinsky. Sablinski synthetic brush, and it's great. I will keep to this for future buys and stay away from the animal hair brushes. Awesome. Sebastian, can you send it to me? Just send me even an email or a message. I want to see it. Maybe I'll switch to. Vinodini, thank you for being here. With Gina, my art, painting, and photography is my therapy. Yeah, it's just the way it works. Okay, Aline. Okay, Aline, right? That's how you pronounce it. Let me know. Sebastian, hello from the French guy living in Spain. Cool. So let's go back a bit and see a couple of the things I missed. Let's see here. GW, I'm going to put you in a quick timeout just because I want to follow the chat and I can't see all the messages. Okay, yeah, here we were with Mark. Don't sit down with the idea to create a piece of art. Sit down with the idea to destroy a piece of paper. That's a great way of putting it. But you know what? It's so funny. Since that I started the therapy, I actually feel like my artistic desires change. I want to do more work that's a little more expressive, funny enough. That came out. So it's interesting. So you'll see some changes probably. John says, hot or cold press for the majority of your painting? Cold press all the way to the bank. Definitely. Anne-Marie doesn't like Hanemule too. Crystal Martin Art. I have their new sketchbook better than the others, but I'm still undecided. Yes, sketchbooks are tough. They are tough. Wendy, I'm about to start teaching beginners. What reasonably priced brand of cold press paper would you recommend? Yeah, nothing reasonably priced. I guess you could go with something like Fabriano or Artistico. I think it's a little cheaper depending on where you're from. But you could go to pulp paper. It's just not as good, so it could hurt your results in the students' results, obviously. You know what I would do? Canson has bunch of brands of watercolor under them, including Arsh, by the way. They bought Arsh. I would look into their other less familiar lines, and maybe I'll find something good there. Because Consume basically eats the whole world. They bought everything. So maybe they have something that'll work. Let's see. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. Pages of Hanemula sketchbook falling out. That sucks. Amy says, I've been really attracted to watercolor on Yupo paper lately. It looks really super cool. I'd love to see you give it a try. Interesting. Yeah, I could do that. I've seen the Mind of Watercolors video on that. Really good one and interesting. John Haywood, in your opinion, what is the warmest blue? I think that will be as close to a purple as you can get without it being officially purple. So anything around those French ultramarines would do that. If you add just a touch of quinacridone rose to it, still have it blue dominant, then you'll get the warmest green possible, the warmest blue, sorry, possible. But it's such a spectrum, it's very hard to say, okay, here it's purple and here it's blue, right? That's decisions we made like a year. A year doesn't really, well, it does exist actually. Time does exist in a way, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, John, Ruth is always a welcome sight on my screen, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Everyone who haven't watched Ruth's birthday video, you have to. Schminker or Daniel Smith 24 pens? Which one is more suitable for landscapes and cityscapes? It's a very general question. I wouldn't buy a 24 pens. I would buy Daniel Smith's Essentials set, which you can find in the tools page. I put first link in the description box. I will say this. If you're going to go between Schminke and Daniel Smith 24 pens, my personal experience was, and I hate to say it, Daniel Smith had more useful colors than Schminke's, some of Schminke's sets, some of them, not all of them. So I would just pay close attention. You know what? Even Daniel Smith has strange palettes. So I would say look at the specific colors the set has and go by that, base it on that. And I would say the one you can get for cheaper, because both are good. Schminke are great. They sent me free paints, which is awesome, I really appreciate it. So I have this certain bias towards them. But then Daniel Smith, I found more paints that I love, so I have a bias towards them too. And so it's a bit complex. Marina, I throw 80% of my watercolor practice sheets away where I... Oh, okay, yeah. So when you talk about practice sheets, you mean things you painted on, right? I kind of missed that earlier. Yeah, I cut them and used the other side as test paper. Yep, exactly. Cutting them helps because then you can store them easily. I have a pile of them here. I'll show you. I'm starting to run low on the pile, but see, I have this kind of a thing here. I cut them, put them in one of my small desk drawers, and then I can just, use them for test paper while painting, which I do a lot. Wendy, I love your faces in shadows video, Liron. I tried it and it was quick and easy. Awesome. Yeah, very happy to hear. I always want to get you, the quick wins, right? Lynn, I'm not sure what you mean by I typed wrong, but let me know. Hey, Dwayne, by the way, how are you doing? How's the channel going? Let me know. Keep me posted. And Lynn also said hi, Liron, from Ohio. Patricia, love your video. Stop doing this for creating a smooth wash. I have shared it with many of my art friends. Oh, that's cool. I'm learning to not go back and touch the paint after I lay it down. Super helpful. Awesome. Yes. And of course, with the caveat that you can touch it as long as it's fast enough and it's still wet enough in the brush. You can go back and do wet and wet if the brush has a thicker mix and all of those good stuff, right? I'm using it right now. I'm not sure what, but maybe the video. I'm not sure. Charles says GW stop spamming. Yeah, I put him in timeout. Yeah, that's a shame. I didn't even get to read the message because I was like, okay, I got to stop the spam. Oh, okay. Listening to this and painting. That's cool. Paint Me Blue by Nicola Manto. That's super cool. I'm happy I could be of help to people creating out there. Just talking it. It's fun. It's fun. Tom, yes, Geoff Kersey applies masking fluid on wet areas to get softer looking edges. It doesn't blend out, obviously, but just more natural looking edges. Oh my. Geoff Kersey. Geoff. So I'm just curious about the brand of masking fluid. I'll see if I can find the actual technique. I opened it up for later. Len says, I live in Brazil here, so it's so difficult to buy some good art supplies. This week, Sao Paulo art store, it started to sell Daniel Smith. Okay, huge win. Yeah. By the way, how much does it cost there? I'm curious to hear in dollars. Because here it's very expensive. It's just, man, the import taxes kill us. But yeah, I'm happy that you get it now. Do you have any other good brands out there? Because there are so many, you know, Mgram, Schmenka, SAA, Shinhan, PwC. There's so many, you know. Patricia says, I spritz masking fluid with a toothbrush to create a sparkly effect. I learned how to do that from Rick Sorowitz in his landscape watercolor class. He does that to create an effect of light on trees. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Again, I'm not sure it would work with my masking fluid. I need to really up my masking fluid game. Chanel, Liron, what skills do you find you need to improve on? Color matching, and color matching. These are the ones I need to work on. I will say, what else? Still wet and wet. No matter how much I do that, I still have a long way to go. But color matching is the main one. Value matching too, but color, like, I have a hard time with it still. Gina, I made my own art journal with my Consone Excel. I know everyone says use Arch. I'm not paying for that paper until I like Consone. I still like it. I like Consone. Yeah, okay, cool. If you like it, that's the best. Lane, you can use watercolor pencil for sketching. It doesn't completely disappear, but makes a nice blur effect. Yeah, that is true. Marina uses an art sketchbook. That's a good idea. Mixed media, we've been there. Marjorie, how are you doing? Finally here. Hello, all upstate New York. Guess my idea of breathing exercise will be a oh man. Wait, so BiPAP machine, that's not good, right? Because I read your comment earlier and I missed some of it. Yeah, that's not good. Well, actually, I have a friend who uses that. So yeah. Okay, what did we go through here? Hair or fluff on your paintings? How do you deal with this? Do you mean like actual hairs, like Ruth hairs, or to paint hairs? If it's Ruth hairs, I don't care. I just paint, it dries, then I get rid of the hair. It's not the end of the world. Some brushes also shed their hairs, and that's okay. You gotta take another bite. See, it takes me an hour and a half to eat one of these because they're so calorie dense. I love how last time I had my fat bomb keto, and now I'm having this crappy chunk of sugar. Now, if you're painting hair, it's more about the value and around the shape. Do I have something here? No. The outline of the shape. It's not about painting every individual hair. And I have a video or two on that, so maybe you want to check those out. Let's see here. Adam, do you have any advice for painting lit subjects on a dark background versus a fully illuminated scene? Lit subjects on a dark background versus a fully illuminated scene. Yep. Actually, a lot of wet and wet, believe it or not. I took a picture that I really want to paint that is exactly like that. So once I do, I'll have more insights for you. Now, let me show you if I can find it. It was a recent one. I think I should be able to find it on my phone. There we go. So hopefully you can see this. Sorry, I keep forgetting that my phone mirrors the screen and I dislike that. Let's do this. So I'm going to put this in full screen and there we go. See this? And then I'll zoom out. Here's the one. So I want to paint this kind of a thing. This looks really cool to me. So once I do, I'll have more insights. Yeah, it's not something I'm good at. If you can find artists that do that, like August Sandstrom, he does that and he's very good at it. I would follow them and kind of figure it out. August Sandstrom, and just go for it. Just go for it, you know? So yeah. Let's skip ahead a bit. Okay. Where were we? Sorry for the dead air. Tom says, Bockingford for beginners, which is usually more affordable. Yeah, I keep forgetting about Bockingford because I never tried it, Tom. I believe I haven't never tried it. Once I do, I'll probably talk about it more. I have heard they used to bring it imported here to Israel in the past. Now they don't anymore. But yeah, that could be good. Is it the same brand as Saunders Waterford? I think it is, right? Laura, how are you? Hi, everyone. Better late than ever. I guess I will catch up later. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for being here. Charlie, oh, what's the best way to practice impressionism? Simple scene is overwhelming. I actually just watched a really good video on how to simplify, one that really goes deep. I'll find it for you. I think that's actually the best solution. But I forgot the name of the person, the channel. How to simplify painting. It was a recent video. I watched it recently. Yeah, it was by Ian Roberts. There it is. Yep. So I would check out this video. Impressionism. And I'll give you my 2 cents in a second. There we go. Yeah. So where was I? Why is the chat keeps jumping on me? Yeah, to practice impressionism. So honestly, one of the things that you will learn with time is to take a few steps back from the picture, kind of squint your eyes and try and see it more simplified. One other thing you can do is put it in Photoshop, turn it black and white, do image adjustments, posterize. It will simplify the values. Then you get to see kind of a using Photoshop. It's like you're putting special goggles and you see a simplified version of it. Ultimately, the only way to really practice impressionism is to practice impressionism. So you'll want to just do it a lot. So what I would practice is open up the scene you want to paint and look for the biggest shape you can and start from painting that. Even if you skip everything else, just paint that shape, biggest shape, and start something simple like a landscape with skies, maybe, right? You paint the big shape alone and then you paint the next shape. What you'll discover is you don't have to worry as much about technique. The only thing you really have to worry about is matching the color and the value. If you can match the color and the value and you can see the big shapes of color and value, you can just paint them in and completely disregard the small details. The small details will take care of themselves. I'm telling you. The reason a painting looks good is not due to a lot of small details. It is the big shapes of color and value that make it work. These are the things that make a painting read well from afar. So that would be my take on it, at least. Now, you can look for my videos on thumbnails. I have a few of these thumbnail sketches. It will help too. But it's hard. It's one of the hardest things. I'm still practicing impressionism and simplifying. It's so hard. And you want to develop the ability to simplify and impressionize as much as, to varying degrees, right? As much as you can, to a small degree, and then maybe learn to stick more to a realistic impression, which is super hard to. Johannes, hi everyone, how are you, my friend? I'm doing well. I was just telling the story about my NLP therapy that has been working out really, really well. But yeah. How are you doing, Johannes? Are you doing well? Let me know. Amy, I'd love to see you play with Yupo paper in the future. Yeah, definitely we'll have that in mind. Aline. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm from Brazil. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a name here in Israel too. Aline. It's a name. It's a beautiful name, by the way. I like it a lot. Michelle, I'm definitely going to watch Ruth's birthday video now. Awesome. Shravina, my question is that you are talking a live stream in schools for students possibility. Like, do you want me to actually do this? I don't know. It sounds fun. Sounds interesting. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I don't know exactly in what constellation, but it sounds interesting. Johannes really enjoyed your analysis on Bookfitch. Yeah, we'll do another one soon. Let me know if you want one. There's the other video of him and Herman Pekel and Alvaro Castaneda painting, 3 of them painting one scene together. Maybe I'll do a reaction to that because that's a fun one. Marina, great idea to use them for test paper. Yep, that's what I've been doing for a long time. Like, what else will you do with them? Some of them I throw away, and of course, after I use them as test paper, I'll throw them away. But you could recycle that too if you're doing collages or stuff like that. Charnel, well, Liron and friends have to go and get my day started. I love the 6 a.m. PT lives. Hope to tackle some painting today. Yeah, you all have a good one. Yeah, and send me the painting. You're on the right track. Looking forward to seeing more. Never throw any paper away. Patricia says, I use Winsor Newton Winsor Green blue shade and Winsor Blue red shade for warm and cool blues. Oh, cool. So that's kind of a phthalo blue, if I'm not mistaken, right? And a phthalo green, kind of. Vinodini, please suggest 3 primary colors must have in a watercolor painting. Yeah, I talked about that. French ultramarine, just the Daniel Smith essentials, everything that's there. That's what I use. Okay, how do you find a coach to guide you through this NLP therapy? So it's a great anecdote, by the way, of how business is done. I simply reached out to an old friend who I've been in contact on and off. We haven't talked like intensely in a long time, but he knows his business, and I just asked him, do you have anyone you can recommend to me who does NLP and trauma release? And he was like, this guy. So I just talked to this guy. This guy wanted the entire sum paid in advance, and because I got a recommendation from someone I trust, I didn't really hesitate, and I just paid for everything in advance. That's the best way. Recommendations, honestly, that would be the best way to do that. What I would do is start doing research online and seeing who's like a key figure in that world, because I didn't do that. All I did was locally here. And then you can find someone who does their way. There are a lot of probably schools of thought within NLP, but get recommendations, like real recommendations. That's the best way to know, because you need someone who knows what they're doing. It's like art, you know. If you commission an artist to do a work and they know what they're doing, it's going to be a nice result. And if they don't know what they're doing, it's not. It's a skill that people build, you know. It's something that people work hard to become good at. So you want to treat this like anything else in that regard, I would say. Base says Artegria brushes are very inexpensive and great for beginners. Haven't heard of them. Cool. Great. Ronnie asks, hey, what's your ethnicity? So I'm actually, it's funny. My dad's from Romania and my mom's family is from Iraq originally. So everyone here is kind of strange in that way, because so many people did Aliyah, came to Israel from all around the world. So a lot of us are like, a quarter this, half that. So yeah, half Romanian, half Iraqi, believe it or not. But yeah. It's funny. So I actually understand Iraqi Arabic really well, and I can communicate in Iraqi with other Arab speaking countries and people that they understand. As for Romanian, I know only a few words. I don't know too much. But yeah, it's always interesting to think about. I'm happy that I'm like that. You know, I'm happy that I have this weird combination that's a little unusual. I think there's because every side is so different in the family that I think I got a lot of good stuff from both. Patricia, color matching. I love your honesty. Yep. I'm so bad at it. All three. Yeah. Alison Inky, how are you doing? It has been a while. Happy to have you here. And hey, Jill, and hey, Kelvin, everyone joining in. Aline, we have Schminkus and Elie, White Knights, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Sakura, Winsor Newton, Cotman, Meyer. Oh, you have everything. Sandy and Schmigge for practically costs a kidney. Yeah, is White Knights cheap? Because that's like a good brand. So yeah, hopefully you can get it for a good price. From what I recall, depending on where you live in Brazil, it's like you have everything. That's what I remember, like everything from everything, just like anywhere else. But yeah. Where's Ruth's birthday video? Let me just find it for you. It may be hard to find. Liron, Ruth, birthday. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Yeah, it's hard to find. It is hard to find. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's super impossible to find. Because I called it My Dog Takes Over My Channel or something like this. Why can't I find it? Okay, wait. I'm searching YouTube for it and I cannot find it. Wow. Okay, maybe if you search the channel, you'll find it. Let's see here. Okay, that's terrible. I don't know why I searched the exact terms and I can't find it. You know what? We could watch it together here. That would be fun. We could actually watch it together. I don't know if you're interested. Let me know. Do you want us to watch it together? Kind of a reaction. I'll react to my own video. Let me know. But in any case, here's the video. Ruth B-Day. Put a link. You check it out if you want to. She's so funny. Such a funny dog. But yeah. So let's see. I'm going to speed up things a little and we'll move towards wrapping it up in about 15 minutes. Kelvin says, talk about art supply. I just bought two 50 milliliter tubes of Volcano Red and two 5 milliliter tubes of Ultramarine Violet. Cool. Ultramarine Violet. I don't think I ever tried that one. Patricia, I sketch with a group called Slow River Sketchers. We all use Arteza. Oh, okay. So Arteza, I've seen good things from them too. Hi, Liron. This is Donna, not Ron. Love your videos too. Take a look at Chris Breyer's YouTube channel for excellent color matching instructions. Okay. I also like Mark at Draw Mix Paint. He has some really good color matching videos. But is Chris doing watercolor or just general? In any case, I opened it up and paused the darn video. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I need all the help I can get. Okay. Isn't Lars, and thank you so much for the recommendation, Donna. Isn't Lars Larin, not Lenin, good at painting darkness? Yes, he's good at it. Ian Roberts. Yep, that is true. You know me. You know the videos. Is oil painting hard or watercolor hard? I honestly think it's a matter of personal taste. I find drier mediums to be very hard because it's not my process. It's very slow, much more step by step. I don't like it. I like the watercolor speed. But a lot of oil painters say that watercolor is harder, and a lot of watercolorists say watercolor is harder too. So I think there is a consensus that technically, if you really want to go to the highest levels, watercolor is a bit harder. But it's so hard to say. Paula, I've heard you mention that someone sent you something to try. Where would it be sent to? Address? Yeah, definitely. Drop me an email, Paula, and I'll let you know where to send it. And thank you so much. Kelvin, personally, I think oil painting is harder because you control everything. Watercolor, on the other hand, the paint does more of the work for you. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the other side of the... Yep, exactly. Buckingford is also good for professionals, says Saint Inky. I believe Billy Shovel uses that now, and her art is on the cover, or she has her own Buckingford line. Prior, she used yours, Fabiano. Billy Shovel. Let's see. I don't know who that is. I don't think. Watercolor. Is it Shovel? Yeah, it's Shovel. Okay. Is it botanical? Yeah. Just give me a second. I'm gonna take my lamp out of yeah. The thing became really hot. I think there was a problem there. Let me check real quick. Okay, yeah. I think there was a problem with the... I don't know what you'd call it. But I guess, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of botanicals. Usually find them quite boring, to be honest with you. But that's a matter of style more than anything. It's just so monotone in a way. Like it's this very often it's so I see now a painting by Billy Scholl that isn't like that. That has a bunch of interesting colors. But many of the botanicals I see are the ones that are considered excellent too. It's just the same color in different values, and I find it a little boring sometimes. But I think that's the point, right? Because it should be like that. But I actually see Billy Scholl's work, and it's incredible. Yeah, these are amazing botanicals. Yeah. Marjorie, for color matching, I used to do exercises as Alec Krilo. Everyone has recommendations. That's interesting. Maybe I'll check that out too. Chuck, hey Liron, I beat cancer now. I have a fiance. Awesome. Yeah. Oh man, I missed it. I knew I missed your email, right? Because I haven't replied to it. That's amazing. And I believe you. I believe you. I believe that that's her. Congratulations. That not that that's her, that you met someone, right? Because you were telling me about her. Well deserved, Chuck. We're gonna congratulate. with a lump of sugar and with a bit of coffee. Congratulations, man. You deserve it. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. Our Tech Gray Intuition rounds. Great brushes for the price. Awesome. All right, let's skip ahead a bit. Congratulations, Charles. Everyone congratulate Chuck. So happy to hear that. Gina, are you a Daniel Smith ambassador yet? You want me to tell you a story? Because I can tell you a story. If you stuck around all the way till now, and I see 113 people, so you have. So thank you so much. If you can drop a like, let me know you're enjoying this. I emailed Daniel Smith a long time ago. Not that long, I mean, a year or two. Twice, I think. Zero response. I keep talking about their paints. I recommend them everywhere. Zero response. Now, I am familiar with another ambassador of theirs, Michael Soloviev, who sent me these, which was great. I'm super grateful for that. But I'm not an ambassador. Now, I may be problematic because I still want to use other brands. So if they tell me, you get a lifetime supply of our paints, never use any other brand again. No. I mean, I want to use other brands. This I didn't say back then. I mean, I thought it. I just didn't really get the chance to say it. And I don't think they would know even if I had said it. But like, I don't know. I don't want to be an ambassador if it means I'm only using their supply. Now, if they pay, I may say, okay, I can go with you. I'll let go of all other brands. You give me lifetime supply of paints. And I still like other brands, but I'm not going to use them because I'm your ambassador. So I'm like, I'll say, Daniel Smith's not the only brand. There are a lot of good brands out there, but I can't talk about them. So it's a shame, but whatever. I can still teach you techniques, right? If they pay well enough, I would have considered it. But I mean, it hurts my freedom. I can't use whatever I want. It's limiting. It's starting to constrain you. So there are a lot of downsides to that. But let me tell you, they didn't even respond. So that's bad. That's not nice. Now, I'll tell you another story. I'm going to open up all fronts now. I emailed SAA, Society for All Artists, the great brand. I keep recommending those too. So I think I contacted someone pretty higher up on LinkedIn there. We talked a bit, and I gave them a bunch of recommendations for their YouTube channel, and he said that he'll get back to me, and he never did. So if you're watching this, you're a cool dude. I like you a lot. You're really nice to reply initially too, but I never heard back from them. So just saying that I'm firing on all fronts. Schminka, on the other hand, I was like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Can you send me some stuff? I'll review them. They were like, yes, sure, here you go. They were great, honestly. So yeah, it's not going to hurt my perception. Again, if a product's quality, I'm going to tell you it's quality. But it's kind of nice to hear back from people, I'm sure I missed a bunch of messages from people that I never responded to. My apologies. I'm just one person. But if you're a company and you have customer support, you can handle more than I can. So yeah, I think based on my current business's size, I'm doing a decent job at least at communicating. And I feel okay with missing messages and emails. Not customer support. Now, if you need help logging into the course, you can't access it, whatever, I'm here for you. But just general, critique requests, stuff like that I try to charge for now. I think I'm doing a decent job. I guess that's the point. But oh yeah, I wanted to say I'm okay with missing a few messages here and there, as long as I give you one place where we can talk freely. So any of the people that I never responded to their messages, they may be here. They can come here and I will probably see your chat message, right? So I give the option at the very least. That's how I like to do it. The Three Masters painting was a hoot. Would be great to hear your take. Yeah, I will. I don't have too much critique for that. It's just amazing that three people together can create something that looks like a painting, Watercolor paper is also good for gouache and acrylics. Yeah, definitely. It's just good for everything. And Amy, do you have a template for swatching that you use? What are usual things to record when swatching? Oh, nothing. I don't have anything like that. It's a mess for me. It's a real mess. Hey, Gail. Good morning to you too. Gina, I bought the Daniel Smith Essentials and then got the primary and secondary set. Awesome. So did you just do it now using my links? Thank you so much if you have. And if you have done in the past, what did you think of them? I love them. You know, the primary set is really good, and the secondary set is even better because the secondary set has 3 very useful colors. The orange you can actually use just like a burnt sienna. The Carbazole Violet goes so dark that you can use it for just about anything, including monochromatic studies. And the green, the undersea green, is just perfect. It's a muted green. It's just awesome. So yeah, there are so many good finds there. And I think if you buy the set, it's cheaper per tube, right? Still is, I believe. What brush is best? Please tell me. No one brush. You have to test it out and find the thing you like. But I like, for beginners, the silver black velvet brushes in general. They're cheap. They're good quality. That's what I would recommend. Nadia, you're so talented. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I wanted to ask about your last name, actually. I'm curious. You don't have to answer, but is it of Romanian descent? I think it is, right? The U, because my father's original last name is a bit different. So yeah, it has a U, and I know that Scu, my ski is actually from Scu. It's Romanian. So just curious. But yeah. Saying Inky, there's no best brush, just a bunch of expensive ones from various companies. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Gina, I live in Washington State. I've been here all my life. English is all I know. Yeah. I'm lucky to have been exposed to a lot of languages, honestly. Saying Inky, I got 100 plus brushes, and my favorites are Skoda, but that doesn't mean they are the best. Yeah, that's true too. Tyndai, how are you doing? Yes, let's watch it. Yes, let's watch. Maybe we should watch it. Maybe that's how we'll wrap up today. We don't have silver brush here. Princeton is good too. Skoda is starting to sell, but it's super expensive. Yeah, it's more expensive than others. Yeah, they're good quality though. Hello, Blanca. How are you doing? Hope everything is well with you. Reza, yes, why not share it? Love to see it. Yeah, live watch party. Gromix paint color matching video is amazing. Yes, it's amazing seeing him paint those peaches. I think I can do a good impression of him too. I'll have to think about it. Skoda brush sets signed by famous watercolor artists. Can go wrong with those, or is a cheaper alternative silver brush and Raphael? Yep. Paula, it's Liron at lironian.com. If you go to the channel and you go to the About tab, you'll find the email there. I can write it here too, but just if you won't see it in the chat, you can always find it in the channel. Liron at lironian.com. Come on, Liron. Everyone knows Billy. Okay. Do you still have a vacuum cleaner? Yes, we have the same Dyson vacuum cleaner, and she still hates it, but not as reactive as in the past. Patricia, funny because I'm primarily an oil painter and think watercolor is much harder. There's much more planning involved before even getting started. Yep, I get that. Zero response is a short story. Not sure what you mean by that, but oh yeah, it's a short story. Yep. It ended up being a good short story. Yep, I agree. Come on, Daniel Smith, get with it and help you. Yeah, I just can't be exclusive to one brand. It's too much. But yeah, if they want to do something together, I'm open for it. I see them making palettes with everyone. Everyone has a palette with Daniel Smith. What about me? What about moi? I don't have good color choices. Can't you build a palette with me? Is it too similar to the essentials that you don't want to build it with me? Alvaro Castanet has one, right? Dennis has one. Here, Dennis Sodden, watercolor, great watercolor channel. She has one. What about me? Why don't I get one? I don't remember, but a couple of others have it. Anne-Marie says F cancer, and I agree. Kelvin, but I bet you'll get a lot of messages from Raid Shadow Legend. Is that like the video game that does all the ads? Yeah, Schminke would sponsor you. Better paints anyway. Funny. Christine's celebrating Chuck. I already have a lifetime of paints, and I'm on retirement, but it would be awesome to get Daniel Smith paints from them. I'm not... that you don't know. Yeah. So here's the thing. I haven't really had to buy paints for a long time because you are so awesome and you just send me stuff. Like John sent me a bunch of paints and I keep getting them from all sorts of different, from from you, from subscribers, people via email. They just want me to try stuff and send it over. I'm super grateful for it. I do buy, but I just don't need to. From time to time, I do. Lynn says, "Hi, Liron. I'm really enjoying this one, so we'll continue maybe a little over 2 hours." Hey, Liron, it's raining here, and it's so beautiful. Can you do summer rainy view painting? Yeah, send me a picture. If you have something specific you want me to share, send me a picture, but I can do that. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of that so that I remember later. Like a summer rainy view. Interesting. I'll look into that. Let's see. Where was I? Okay, skip. Yes, it is. My father is Romanian. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I had a feeling. Congrats. Patricia says, "Congrats, Charles. My niece just learned after years of chemo that she is NED. No evidence of disease. A miracle." Oh, amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations. Yep. Man, so much of this is, I mean, it's physical, but also mental, right? It's so draining. And if you don't have enough mental strength, it can be very, like, a huge burden. So happy for you too. Calvin says, "The only good thing being an Asian is I'm naturally bilingual." Yeah, it's funny. I'm Asian too, or at least half Asian. Iraq is in Asia the last time, or Middle East. Yeah, I guess I'm Middle Eastern. But yeah. Leslie, is there a way to get black to look vibrant deep? Yes, by not painting it flat black. Just mix it with another color and keep it lighter than you think, because it's very rare to see just a pitch black. Pitch black is like you outside in the forest without the moon out, right? It's very rare to have that. So what I like to do is mix the black colors with my 3 primaries, blue, red, and yellow. These together will produce a black if they're good primary colors, and keep it a bit transparent and lighter than you think it should be. So that way you can see the surface underneath the shadow. That's the way to do it. I should do a video on the topic, actually. John Cogley is a Daniel Smith boss. Get a hold of him. John Cogley. Yeah, I remember him. He has a video on YouTube, I believe, right? Yep. I remember John. Michelle, what colors would you have in your Daniel Smith palette, Liron? Ooh, that's a good question. I'll have their essentials palette. There we go. I'll just use they'll come to me and say, "Hey, you want to do a palette?" And I'm like, "I'll have the essentials, please. So just keep it as it is." That's a good question. You know what? I need to think about it. I'm not sure. I'll have to go over their catalog and actually figure it out. I'm honestly not sure. But that's a great question. Wait. We had an important one. Anne-Marie, my mom is fighting breast cancer at the moment, surgery yesterday. Okay, keep us posted and sending like tons of wishes and strength and health and prayers. Yeah, that's rough. Sorry to hear. Gina, I want to do a night sky painting. I'm in the city and no stars at night. I miss stars. Yeah, it's hard seeing stars in the city. R.D. Roberts. Hi, and thank you for all your videos. I'm still new at watercolor, but I'm enjoying my painting experience. That's the most important part. Thank you for being a part of it. Yep, that's the most important part. If you can enjoy what you're doing, you'll stick to it, and find your freedom within it. That's the best way, I think, to move forward. Chuck also joins the prayers for Anne-Marie's mom. Let's all send her our regards. Nix, I'm going to try and read this. Nix Klembaustein Reich. Hopefully. Hi, Liron. Do you also offer live online courses? So I do live sessions. Check out the Patreon link in the description box. The $50 tier gets you that every month. So check that out. If you want to do that, of course, you can do it once. And if you like it, continue. If you don't, it's not non-commitment, right? Now, if you want to do it directly with me, just send me an email and we can schedule one and you'll see how you like it. 30 minutes, an hour, however time you need. It's not really courses, it's private one-on-one lessons. Gina, art is universal. I love that. I wish I knew all languages. Only God has that. Yeah, I'm learning Japanese. I actually understand a lot right now. I listen to songs and I'm like, oh, I understand that sentence fully. That was nice. Or we were listening to a song in Japanese earlier and I'm like, I know. I told May, I know what what she just said. I understood the whole sentence. And the sentence was, do you believe in the existence of fairies? And I understood it. I think it's, so fairies is yose. Yose no. It was like, you're hearing me talk Japanese now because you've made it past the 2 hour mark with over 100 viewers. It was Kimi wa you. Yose no sonzai wa yose no sonzai wa. Oh man, I forgot the sentence. I remembered it when I heard it. Yose no sonzai wa ikiteiru? Ikiteiru? I'm not sure. If anyone speaks Japanese here, let me know. Probably got it wrong. But I understood it when I heard it. John's also sending prayers. Patricia, agree, Liron. A positive mental attitude really helps, and she does 10,000 steps almost every day. Amazing. Advice from her doctor. Definitely has helped her. Yep. I'm so happy to hear. That's like crucial. Rolf, hello from Norway. Since Daniel Smith is mentioned so much today, they say they introduced a new color, Jane's Gray. Oh, that's like Payne's Gray, only Jane's Gray. But try a mix of ultramarine and burnt sienna. It just, my old eyes. So you say it's just the same as that, right? Jane's Gray. Let's see, Daniel Smith. You know, they keep making these mixes and these gray, Joseph's Book Rich Gray. And I'm like, yeah, Jane's Gray looks to me. You know what it looks like to me? Like neutral tint. It looks to me like a slightly cooler neutral tint that can't get as dark as neutral tint. But it is Jane Blundell's and she's great. So if you want to support her, I guess that's a way of doing that. It's not just your old eyes. It really looks like ultramarine and burnt sienna, with the ultramarine being more dominant, honestly. Riza, can I send some of my works to your email to see them? Yes, feel free to. I can't promise like a fast response, but I do my best. Kelvin, use granulating paint. It's a cheat code to creating interesting. That's so true. And you told me that before, I believe, or someone else told me, and I need to do that. I need to remember that. Let me screen capture that. Oops. That's not the type of screen capture I wanted. There we go. Gina, Rolf, I do that, and they granulate both sienna and ultramarine. I learned that from the frugal. Yeah, Lindsay's great too. Okay. Something that I can't read. Mo nihongo hanashimasu, I guess. Hanashimasu. Calvin, did I read it correctly? Let me know. I think it's kimimo. Is it kimi or what? It's not watashi. Watashi is written differently. I remember. Something mo nihongo hanashimasu. Let me know now, Calvin. I'm super curious, so let me know if I did it, if I got it right. I'm only starting to learn kanji. I'm not that good with kanjis. I know more of the hiragana and katakana. But yeah. Yeah, Jane's Gray is just ultra-rated burnt sienna. It's a joke by Jane Blundell. That's so funny. I should make a joke signature paint for Daniel Smith. Shanzei, how are you doing? Hey, Liron, finally got time to watch your stream. My exam's gonna start. Hope you remember me. Yes, of course I remember you, Shanzei. Thank you so much for being here. You're always super supportive. I really appreciate it. So I think we can start moving towards wrapping it up. Sorry, Shanza, you just arrived here, and I'm like, yeah, let's wrap it up. But it's been a while. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's react to Ruth's funny video, and then maybe we'll do a bunch of other comments. And I don't know, it's just fun. So I'm gonna share. Wait, I need to move this to another window, new window, and then full screen it. Then we're going to share our screen. Boku mo. Oh, okay. Boku mo nihongo benkyou shimasu. Oh, crap. Okay, yeah. Benkyou shimasu. I keep confusing the two. I'm also studying Japanese. Yeah, I understand really well. I just can't read kanji. Boku mo nihongo benkyou shimasu. Oh, okay, you wrote it twice. Yep. Watashi mo, or boku mo nihongo ga daisuki desu. Let's see here. 私の日本語が悪いんです。悪いんだ。悪いん, how shall I say it? I'm not sure. Too many ways to finish a verb in Japanese. So we'll do share. Share screen, and we'll do Chrome tab, and I'll find my dog takes over my channel share. So let's watch it together. I think it should share the audio too. Yes, it should. Okay. So it's a 2.5 minute long video. You want us to just watch it, and I'm not gonna comment. Let's give it a look. I'll pause it if I really feel like it. Hopefully you can hear it well. She's so cute. So this is when she took over my channel, basically. She's a beast. The way she runs. Sa boku mo nihongo mo made. It should be mada, right? Mada warui desu. Yeah.
Ruti.
Satellites. That's Hebrew. That's the one time she played with another dog like that intensely, just that she just met. Very rare. So cute. Look at her. Java the Hutt. Happy you enjoyed this, Patricia. Oh, that's so funny. We're gonna get copyright claimed for this song in the background. I know it. Never mind. I don't monetize this anyway. She's such a crybaby.
Good.
Now you'll hear my laughter. My high-pitched laughter. Listen. I have to rewind, sorry. That was so good. Wait. Oh man, she's so funny. No, she wants the cheese. She wants food all the time. Food. Yep. Food is her motivator, like me, in a way. Oh, this is so funny. So, I don't know why. I did this painting just for TikTok. It's a terrible painting. She thought she thought it's a spider or some kind of an insect, because look at how she's looking at it. It's crazy. So then I made this voice to scare her. Strange discovery indeed. And then she goes to bed. I think that's the end of the video, but not before. So that's a one time. That's so funny. So that's the one time I took a picture. She was chasing her own tail, like she likes, like dogs often do, and I filmed it, video. I have a video of this, and then I paused it on the most ridiculous, humiliating frame, and saved it as a picture screenshot. That's like the funniest thing ever. Yeah, so that was Ruth's video, Ruth's birthday video. You want to know how many views it got? You want to know? Stop sharing screen. Here's how many views this video got. 1,656 views. And I think that number hasn't changed for like ever since the video is out. So yeah, it's very underrated. It's a very underrated video. So happy you enjoyed it. I put a link so you can watch it later again if you want to. I can watch this on repeat. I just had this funny idea. It's so funny how things happen by coincidence. I had this fun idea. Let's do a video about Ruth, something funny. And then it just coincided with her. I filmed everything, and it coincided with her birthday, because we kind of know her birthday is the 12th of December. We kind of made up the date. And I was like, okay, when I edited, I'm like, it's a birthday video then. So yeah, that's funny. So I'm happy everyone enjoyed it. Let's see, I think I skipped one question and then we'll wrap it up. And Gail says that Jane's Gray is a convenience color for Jane Blundell premix. Yep, funny. Red Mamad Red. Simple question. Sorry if I already covered. Which 2 to 3 brush sizes are most useful for a travel kit? Thinking about trying Cosmotop Spin. I don't know what Cosmotop Spin is. Let me check. But I will say this. It will depend on... Oh, it's a Da Vinci brush. Okay, I'll check that out. Interesting. Like you can really control the width of it, I guess. it will depend on the size you paint, right? If you paint a large, you need a larger brushes, but the kind of 14, 16 is a classic. You can do a lot with it. And then maybe an 8 and a rigger brush for the smaller details. That's kind of, you can do a lot with a size 16 too, but if you go over that, sometimes you'll have a hard time with the large shapes that you still need some accuracy on. That's my take, at least, on it. That number will change. Yeah, hopefully more people will watch this. Ruth needs her own channel. She actually has her own Instagram. Chris says she's so cute. I love dogs, and we have a big red dog, Murphy. That's so cute. Yep, definitely. Hopefully more people will watch it indeed. So yeah, thank you so much. It's been a fun live stream. I feel really good about where kind of we're at right now with the videos, with the streams. The balance works for me. 2 videos a week. It took me a long time to get to that point, but you know, this therapy thing really kind of brings out the more authentic desires I have, and it makes me, you know, kind of just be more on point. Thank you so much, Manech. Good night to you too. It just gets me, I don't know, to be more selfish in the things that are important for me, and that's really good because it helps me be in better balance, feel better most of the day. So it's really cool. I wonder what will happen after the next session. I have one on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see if it does anything else. I don't know. It's crazy how these things work. And I hope you're having a good time, and I hope you're able to create. I think one thing to take away from this is, like, you can do a lot. You can change a lot. You can improve things in yourself if you want to, and you can achieve goals that maybe you haven't thought were possible before. So that's kind of been what I aimed to be my message ever since we got started here. Our dog barked when she heard Ruth barking. That's hilarious. So yeah, if there's one message here. Some of you have seen my painting that I want to send to space. Maybe I'll be able to do that. Maybe that'll help some people out, because it's really unlikely such a thing will happen. But if we achieve it, we achieve it. But yeah, thank you so much. Couldn't have done this without you, really. You are who and what allows me to continue making a living as an artist. Patricia, I enjoy painting in the tulip field. That's definitely therapy. And yeah, I have you to thank for, really, for everything. So I hope to see you in the next video. Saturday is going to be a fun one too. We're going to talk about optical illusions. I think it's going to be nice to watch. But next Saturday's video, I think, will be very interesting. And I'll continue trying to up my game and make the tutorials more on point, more succinct, and better kind of educational value, if that makes sense. So thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up now, and I will talk to you again real soon. Take care and keep me posted. Everyone I asked to keep me posted, please keep me posted, and I'll do my best to answer as fast as I can. We'll talk in the future. Take care.